Okay, I've been asked to give my top tips for first year students based on my own experience, having spent 4 years at Sussex doing an undergrad, followed by a postgraduate degree. My first tip would be to begin as you mean to go on. What I mean by that is that a lot of people take the first year for granted because they take the view that it doesn't count towards their final grade, or they want to spend more time with their friends during their first year and they'll catch up later. But the first year is actually more crucial than you might think to your future career, because it involves opening doors in your second and third years by doing things like junior advocacy competitions, other extracurricular activities which I'll come on to in a moment, and also getting the best grade you can so that your applications for vacation schemes and mini pupilages are as good as they can possibly be after your first year at university. So that's my first top tip. The second one, which leads directly on from that, is to do as many extracurricular activities as you possibly can during your first year. I don't mean don't spend any time with your friends, of course, but you need to squeeze in as much as possible, which is going to help you excel as you go into your second and third years with those applications coming up. So again, the focus, if you want to be a barrister, might be on mooting or advocacy or debating, and there are societies both in the university at large, which offer those, and also within the law school itself. If you want to be a solicitor, it might be client interviewing or negotiation. And if you want to do something totally different, then you can dip your feet into a number of extracurricular activities and find what suits you best. My third tip is slightly different from the others, and it's a tip for how to deal with lectures. It's not to underestimate the power of pen and paper. I didn't use a laptop during my lectures, however every lecture I ever entered, all you can see in front of you if you sit near the back is a sea of laptops. And there have been a number of studies which have been done which suggest that you don't absorb as much information if you're typing verbatim notes compared with when you're writing notes, because often you have to digest the information, and unless you're an extremely fast writer, condense it in your own mind and then write out a condensed version of what the lecturer is saying. So it's a much better way of understanding what a lecturer is saying and then applying that in other contexts after the lecture. So those are my 3 tips. Begin as you mean to go on, engage in as many extracurricular activities as possible, and don't underestimate the power of the pen and the paper.